into the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing after shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hello, Switched at Birth fans. Welcome to the AfterBuzz Christmas special of Switched at Birth. I'm your host, Yael Tygiel. We are talking about Yuletide fortune tellers. I got Marissa with me in the booth.
Hello, Yael.
Hello, Marissa.
Hello.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays to you.
So this special episode of Switched at Birth, I was really looking forward to a what's the Christmas movie where he imagines his life if he were to...
It's a Wonderful Life.
That's the one. Whatevs. I don't know Christmas movies, but I was positive that that's what this story was going to be. Instead, it was a Freaky Friday-esque episode. So let's jump into it. We start before the switch back, we'll call it, and the whole family is at Sal's, which is a pizza place we've never heard of and never seen them. But it seems that it's Christmas. Let's first talk about how the show is taking time and kind of moving it, because they decided, you know what, even though we just had this high school graduation, let's go back in time to Christmas. And that's where we are. They're at Sal's, this magical restaurant with magical garlic knots, which is bread. It's bread, guys. They're garlic bread. And Catherine, who is very into Christmas, and Regina, who apparently becomes Jewish around Christmas because they like to eat Chinese food and go to the movies, which is, you know, what Jews do on Christmas. But no, that's what Regina wants to do. And instead of being able to mash up their traditions, it seems Catherine wants everyone to join her and do her traditions with her 12 types of cookies. And you open one present on Christmas Eve and the rest of them for 3 hours in the morning on Christmas Day. And then you do karaoke and, you know, strict regimen. That's not how Regina works. So we have the families, they're having a little argument. And then Bay and Daphne realize, wouldn't life be easier if we, you know, were never switched? What? Magic. Then they break a garlic knot, and it was a scene from Freaky Friday. That's how it works. All right. We wake up. I want to start with the Sorrentos, because Bay wakes up as Daphne. There are air quotes for those listening. So from now on, this version of her will be called Daphne. Daphne wakes up and she is deaf. But apparently she's had lots of speech therapy because she does not have an accent. She wakes up, freaks out, goes to Regina, who lovingly responds, "Oh no, call 911. Because, yeah, you're Daphne, therefore you're deaf. I really hope people listening can hear all of my air quotes, because I am air quoting it up in here. We also have AJ, who is Angelo's son that was never born, and he doesn't exist. And I'm so sad because AJ seems so adorable. He seems like a really good kid. And I really wish that we had an Angelo Sorrento Jr. That would be so nice. And I think that both Daphne and Bay would really appreciate having this kid there. It makes me sad. Regina apparently owns her own salon, and it seems to be going out of business, but also she's drinking again. Not again, because she never quit drinking, because there was never a switch. And when we finally get to Angelo and what happened to him, it seems that this story, this, Christmas happens to be right after Angelo died, but right before real Daphne in real time started going into her bad girl version. So sadly, Regina, who is drinking, is watching old family videos and sees the video of Angelo and when they gave Bay her paints, And it's just so sad. Also, Emmett, it seems, is not really dating Daphne. Emmett is trying to get with some hearing girl named Madison. It seems Emmett and Daphne are BFFs, not BFs, which is, heartbreaking for all of us. Well, I guess it's Bemmett fans who are heartbroken because Bay is Daphne. It's a really confusing episode, guys. Really confusing. Let's switch gears and talk about the Kennish family. So Bay wakes up and she can hear. Bay can completely hear. It's magic. It's a Christmas miracle. And Bay is an Olympic hopeful. Is that the Bay sound effect?
Yep, it's the best I can do.
I like it. So she's an Olympic hopeful. She is a soccer star. And the studio, which is originally Bay's art studio, is actually her trophy room full of trophies. John is a stay-at-home dad and soccer coach. And Catherine is the working woman. She is a face cream mogul. I just don't understand how in this alternate world she is a face cream mogul and not an author like she wants to be or like she is in our time. Also, I don't get why John doesn't have his car washes, right? Like, that's what he does. I don't get why he would decide to stay at home and coach, but whatever. And then we have Tobias, not Toby, but Tobias, who took the angsty role, left because, Bay isn't Bay. And he's covered in tattoos and he plays guitar and he's a rebel. But let's all be thankful that he shaved that thing from his face. That is the one thing I complained about most last season. And it makes me so happy that he doesn't have that thing on his face. He does have that emo hair though, the swoopy, and he wears guy liner. Lots of guy liner. All right. So apparently the guest house does not house Regina and Daphne, but it is Catherine's office. So Bay, there it is, goes to find Daphne, who is living in the old house in East Riverside, which is where they were before Angela left. And they realize that everything's great. Bay is going to be a soccer star and going to the Olympics, and Daphne is an artist and is going to, has an opening in a gallery, and life is great for them. Then it becomes, almost Christmas, and it seems that there's a lot of fighting going on in the Kennish house, and Regina is drinking a lot. And AJ, who doesn't even exist in our world, is the best son and takes care of Regina and cleans up for her when she's drunk and doesn't want her to wake up embarrassed. I'm sorry. AJ is the greatest character to come out of this whole messed up episode, and I really am bummed that he doesn't even exist in our world. Before we get to the families combining, I want to take a moment to thank you all for tuning in. I know that it's a hard episode to be discussing alone, especially because I'm talking to myself and Marissa, who is playing the musics. But thank you so much for tuning in, for streaming and downloading and listening. I really appreciate it. Also, we are trying to get guests in here. That's right. Anybody who's ever watched the Switched at Birth After Show knows how much I love John Kennish. And we are trying real hard to get D.W. Moffat in the studio with me. Yeah, let him be alone with me. So what we ask of you to help me achieve my life goal of having D.W. Moffat in the studio, but also to try to get Katie LeClaire and Vanessa Moreno and everybody else in here, is go onto iTunes and rate and review us. That's all we need from you guys, is to go on there. Also, tweeting at them helps, but rate and review us is the bare minimum. If you like our show, give us 5 stars. If you don't like our show, that's fine. I can get it if you're upset that I'm here without a co-host. I totally get it. I get it. I'll deal. But you can give us 4 stars and leave a comment. Let us know. You should comment like, hey, where's Melina? She was cool. How dare she leave Yellow alone during the holidays? How dare she? Yeah, leave a comment like that, and I'll make sure she sees it. Marissa will also help make sure she sees it. For those wondering, Melina's doing well, which is why she's not here. Jerk. Let's move on. All right, so the ladies hatch a plan to get the families together because the one concern that both Melina and I had since they announced they were doing this Christmas special where the switch never happened was how would their families ever meet? Because there's zero reason if there's no switch they should never meet. Luckily, both the girls were like, here's an idea. Daphne tells her mother, Regina, that they were invited to the Kennish's house, and then Bay tells Catherine that the Buckner School has an adopt a family program because, the wealthy people need to adopt the poor people, because that's a thing that happens in Kansas. I don't know. I'm from California. I got nothing. So it's Christmas Eve, and the families come together. Regina is drinking and is trying to get a job from Catherine because her salon's going out of business, and she wants to work for the face cream company. I don't know. It's Regina. She needs a job, and she's kind of drunk. But the ladies, Bay and Daphne, have gone to Sal's to get the recipe for the garlic knots because they want to switch back because things aren't as great as they thought. So they go and they start digging through the trash. They can't find any, but Sal is there, and Sal gives them a really important message. Sal says, it's not the knots. What? Mind blown. It's not the knots. I know, crazy. But it seems that they feel the need to start baking and making these knots. And Tobias does the grossest thing ever. Toby decides that he thinks there is some sort of connection with Daphne. The woman who in the real world is his sister. Disgusting. It was really awkward to watch. I can imagine it was even more awkward for them. And I really hope all the fans were like, ooh, this ain't Game of Thrones. What is that? That's not okay. It was gross. John, luckily, has AJ to show off his, sports memorabilia. Seriously, two of my favorite people this episode just wander off screen. Made me really sad. They make the garlic knots, and they split it, and they make their wish, which just offends everyone. They wish they'd been switched at birth. That's got to be the rudest thing to say in front of your mothers, right? Like, that's just really heartbreaking.
Hell to the no!
Exactly. I'm sure my mom would say the same thing, just like that. We also get a little bit of a reveal that Regina's father was actually a drunk as well. And they do say that addictions are hereditary. So that's a very interesting reveal that we get in this Christmas episode that happens to be in an alternate universe, moving time backwards. It's a very confusing place. So who knows if it's actually true? Yeah, exactly. Who knows if it's actually true? So the next day or later that evening, really, after they split the garlic knots and everybody's offended, Daphne brings Catherine peanuts to make peanut brittle because it matters to make peanut brittle out of peanuts in the shells. It makes a difference. And then Bay brings Regina a movie and is like, we can order Chinese. Aw, how cute. They do these nice things. They make everybody happy. And in the morning they wake up and it's Christmas Day and it's back to normal. So here's what I understand, just time-wise. And I know you should never try to make sense of time travel, but let's deal with this. The first day is Christmas Eve. It's the 23rd, which is where they're at Sal's before this wish happens. The next day is Christmas Eve. The wishes happened. They've switched places. They were never switched at birth. And everything is the way it would have been, let's say. But then they wake up and everything's fine and it's Christmas Day. How is no one wondering what happened to Christmas Eve, right? So they wake up, everything's back to normal. The families get together and they put their customs and traditions together. They have, the 3 hours of opening presents, but Catherine orders Chinese food for Regina. And then there's a sing-along, which has John and Catherine singing. I knew that Catherine could sing, right? I knew that Leah Thompson is a good singer. Did not know that my man D.W. Moffat could sing, and he sings beautifully. And then, of course, Toby, who everybody should recognize from High School Musical, jumps in. And I didn't realize, because I never watched High School Musical, that his voice is very high for a boy, especially for a man his age, because he's an adult, let's be honest. His voice is real high. Luckily, we are reminded that not everyone can sing, because we have Regina and Bay and Daphne signs along as they all sing together. This was the Christmas special. It didn't make a lot of sense. It didn't need to. It really, I think the purpose of this episode was to remind us about family and you know, that your traditions can change, but you don't have to lose yourself in them, and that, you know, your family can grow and adopt other people's traditions. I'm assuming that's what we're supposed to get out of this. But I have some questions, and I hope the fans have the same questions and or have answers. One, where's AJ? Where is this mysterious kid that, if the switch never happened, Regina and Angelo would have had? Also, I want to know, how does this change anything in terms of the major plot of this show? You know, we have this whole story. This takes place after Angelo dies from his aneurysm. And then we have Daphne lose kind of control, which doesn't make sense now, because she has this tender moment where she realizes how much she loves the woman who raised her, regardless of the biological connection. But instead, she'll then go crazy and do all these bad things, which lead up to where we ended last season, with her, you know, breaking the law and almost going to jail. There are just some things that don't make sense about this episode. And then, of course, how come no one is questioning this missing day? They've all lost Christmas Eve, which I don't celebrate Christmas, so I don't know, but I assume is kind of an important thing, right? Christmas Eve is an important day where stuff happens, or, you know, the family gets together and there's food and whatnot. I don't know. I don't celebrate this holiday. But those are my questions, and I hope that you as fans have answers or have similar questions. I also want to know what you guys think about AJ. This kid is so adorable and sweet and amazing, and I wonder if he'll play a role somewhere else. That would be really great. I think it would be a really nice nod to the audience. I think that pretty much covers Yuletide fortune tellers. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. Let's get into predictions real quick.
And now, your AFTERBUZZ TV predictions.
So, Switch to Birth is returning on a new night and time, January 6th, Tuesday, January 6th at 9 p.m. And we see that we have to deal with the consequences of Bay's lie. She's possibly going to jail. She's definitely arrested. Everyone hates Daphne at this point. And is Bay going to jail? Is Daphne going to go to school now that Bay is taking the blame? Is Bay going to get away with it? There's so many questions, guys. Also, it looks like there might be a breakup between Bennett. You know, that might be happening. I stand by the statements I made last season that there's no way, since Daphne was the one everyone thought did it on a legal standpoint, Daphne is the one that everyone believed committed the crime. Bay came in and gave them an alternate theory. Therefore, at that moment, they have given us reasonable doubt, and neither of them can be charged. They solved the problem, guys. No one can go to jail. I really hope they have a legal team on this show. That's all I ask for, guys. My prediction is that they don't, and that Bay will end up doing probation or something. That's it. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Thanks for downloading, streaming, watching. I hope you enjoyed Switched at Birth Yuletide Fortune Tellers. I definitely did, even though plot holes, whatever. Who cares? It was a fun episode. Make sure you join us when we return January 6th. Also, leave comments on the YouTube and the iTunes. And we'll be back next season. If you want to find me online, I'm online at Yael.tv. That's YAEL.tv. Also, Twitter, Instagram, and all that good stuff at Yael Tygiel. That's YAELTYGIEL. And have a happy and safe holiday season.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.